Welcome to Gas Ed. Today we will be discussing how command line interfaces are the absolute most efficient way for AI agents to interact with external tools. If you're building autonomous workflows or even just experimenting with agents to streamline your business operations, you are likely running into a massive bottleneck when those agents actually try to fetch data from the outside world. So let's dive right into the core question here. When your autonomous agents need to fetch data, what is actually the most cost-effective, reliable, and fastest method to use? For a long time, we've kind of just relied on traditional methods meant for standard software, right? Or we jump on these flashy new protocols that promise the world, but secretly, they end up completely draining our resources. But the real answer? Well, it might be a technology that's literally been right under our noses for decades. Here's our agenda for today's explainer. First, the agent communication problem. Second, APIs versus MCPs versus CLIs. Third, why CLIs win. Fourth, introducing printing press. Fifth, building custom CLIs. And finally, maximizing agent efficiency. Let's get into it. Section 1, the agent communication problem, context pollution. Okay, so the underlying issue really plaguing modern AI workflows today is token bloat. Every single time your AI talks to a tool, it uses tokens. And since we generally pay for tokens, wasting them is essentially just throwing away money and computing power. No one wants that. Now, our ultimate solution to this is the command line interface, or CLI. A CLI is a time-tested, text-based method of interacting with programs without using a graphical interface. And it turns out this clean, text-only standard is natively exactly how AI agents actually think and operate. This brilliantly illustrates the real problem with our current setups. Using older connection methods forces your agent into what we can call data bloat. Think of it like paying to read an entire encyclopedia just to find one single sentence. It's wildly inefficient. CLIs, on the other hand, put your agent on a strict data diet. You ask for a specific piece of data, and the CLI just hands back exactly what you need in clean, highly readable text. Section 2. APIs versus MCPs versus CLIs, comparing methods. Let's cut through the acronym soup for a second and look at exactly what each method was originally designed to do. APIs are fantastic, don't get me wrong, but they give these huge, raw JSON responses meant for traditional code to parse, not agents. Then you have MCPs, Model Context Protocols, which recently broke onto the scene. They're great for tool discovery, but they force your agent to load up descriptions for a massive catalog of tools it isn't even using. That just wastes tokens. And then we have CLIs. CLIs are built natively for agents. They provide short, pre-formatted, clean text outputs every single time. Section 3. Why CLIs win. The agent advantage. Now, conceptually, clean text sounds really nice, right? But what does that actually mean for your workflow's performance and, more importantly, your wallet? Well, the absolutely crucial point here is overhead. In real benchmarks, MCPs utilize 35 times more tokens than a CLI to perform the exact same task. Just imagine paying 35 times more for the exact same result simply because the underlying protocol is dragging along unnecessary baggage. When you're running automated tasks at scale, that kind of multiplier is honestly devastating. Furthermore, as tasks become more complex, the reliability of these heavier protocols really begins to fracture. MCP reliability drops to about 72% as difficulty scales up. Meanwhile, local composable CLIs maintain a near 100% reliability rate. Why? Well, because CLIs can run with a local SQL-Lite backend, they completely avoid constant round trips to the server. That means fewer timeouts, fewer errors, and just far less friction overall. To put this into perspective, let's look at a recent real-world test. An agent was asked to pull the 10 most recent posts from a community platform. The actual system generated 132,000 tokens of raw data. I mean, if that hit an API or MCP, your agent's context window would be heavily polluted right out of the gate. But by routing through a CLI, it neatly condensed all that raw data down into just 2,000 context tokens of clean summary text. That is a game changer. Section 4. Printing press, the CLI library and factory. So how do we actually implement this incredible efficiency without having to hand code every single integration yourself? Enter a toolkit called Printing Press. It acts as both a library and a factory for CLIs. Out of the box, the library offers around 50 pre-built CLIs for platforms that either lack clean APIs or have APIs that are just too bloated for agents to handle efficiently. You can instantly access highly efficient CLIs for Shopify, Airbnb, YouTube, and even specialized tools like Contact Goat, which runs cross-checks on LinkedIn to find verified emails. Section 5. Building Custom CLIs, the factory. But you might be wondering, what if your business relies on niche software that isn't in the library yet, or maybe doesn't even have a public API? Well, the setup for the factory is incredibly straightforward, even if you aren't a developer. First, you install a foundational, free open-source language from Google called Go, which is absolutely perfect for command line tools. Second, you install the printing press factory. And third, you simply use natural language to ask your AI to research the target website, reverse engineer how it works, and build a custom CLI just for you. It's really that simple. And during this brief process, which, by the way, usually takes just a few minutes, the system doesn't just guess and hand you broken code. No, it automatically performs what is known as dog food runtime verification. Basically, the AI actively tests and scores the newly built CLI features to ensure strict quality control. It makes sure the code is highly reliable before you ever even integrate it into your business operations. Section 6. Max Efficiency. The Integration Hierarchy. So, how should you structure your agent's toolset moving forward? Treat this hierarchy as your ultimate operational checklist. Always prioritize a CLI first. They are the fastest, leanest, and most native to your agent. Now, if a CLI is impossible, then you fall back to Tier 2, a traditional API. And treat MCPs as your absolute last resort, Tier 3, reserved only for times when you absolutely must have a flexible, massive tool discovery catalog, and you can actually afford that hefty token overhead. Ultimately, it all comes down to choosing the exact right tool for the job. APIs are built for traditional code, MCPs are built for expansive toolsets, and CLIs are built natively for autonomous agents. Embracing this one truth will save you immense amounts of time, tokens, and honestly, a lot of money. Are you ready to cut the bloat and put your AI agents on a strict data diet? Reevaluating how your bots talk to the outside world is the single fastest way to completely level up your automation. Take a look at your own workflows right now. Where are you secretly bleeding tokens? That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.